Hello for everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live. I'm excited to have with me today Cameron Lynch from Atani. So welcome, Cameron.
Hello, Nick. Nice to be here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again, mate. It's been a while since.
No, I know. Gosh, I missed you.
I know. The bromance is continuing though. So for those that are on the Facebook Live with us, just jump into the chat box and say hello to us. For those that know us and those that don't. And Cameron and I are just going to have a quick chat today, about 15 minutes. We're running a webinar in a couple of weeks' time on the 16th of July at 11:30. And Cameron, this is one of my, I suppose, personally, one of my most interesting topics because I'm a data nerd, if that's the way. I'm a very data-driven. I lead our business with data, so I know that this really fits within that. And I know one of the biggest challenges a lot of accounting firms that I see have is that they don't actually know their numbers. So do you want to just quickly, for those that don't know you, introduce yourself and a little bit about what Atani does?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Cam, chartered accountant, founder of Atani, and I worked in practice for 6 years, small tier and mid-tier accounting firms, moved into commerce for a couple of years, and basically Atani was born after that when I was just like in Excel hell, and I wanted to do more with all the data that was becoming more available, and I just was like, oh, I don't even know how to even be able to do this. And so I went in search of different options, and I came across Microsoft Power BI, which I'm going to share with you today is the absolute best of the best, and I just love it. And I know you use it yourself. Like, so many people use it, Nick. You know that everybody uses it. I think it's like 95% of Fortune 500 companies are using it now in 4 years. I mean, Microsoft is just, they are just a behemoth, aren't they? Like 5,000 developers. They're working on this. They have monthly updates. Universities, CAs, CPAs, they're all supposed to be agnostic, but now they're not. They're actually just training in Microsoft Power BI because it's such a powerful beast. So, yeah, excited to be here and talk about it.
Yeah, and look, it's a topic that I think a lot of accounting firms don't get into because it's somewhat challenging to understand from the outsider's point of view. But I know that you've been building over the recent months, or particularly this year, a real focus that integrates with Xero and builds dashboards for accounting firms, in essence, for using that software. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what you have been building and some of the, I suppose, the dashboards that accounting firms could use for themselves to understand first how it applies, and then they can look at their clients once they understand how it works for them?
Yeah, I think going internal is actually, it's just proving to be a good route because you get a taste of it yourself and you're like, wow, that's actually pretty useful. So then you can actually start thinking about your external clients, which so internally, like the reason I think internally is really powerful. I've been working with Xero Practice Manager and we're just starting to work with a few of the others as well. But I mean, the reason it's become more and more relevant is because there's a big push now for accounting firms to move to the cloud with their systems, right? So Xero Practice Manager itself is on the cloud. And I reckon the reason that we've lost touch, I would say we've lost touch with our reporting, is because of the changing landscape of accounting firms, all our different service offerings and stuff, Nick. So if I put, say, for example, put yourself in this, here's a situation. I'm an accountant, right? And I'm trying to win your business, right? So I'm trying to win TOA. I say, TOA, love to work with you. I think we can give you a range of different services from your actual financials, your BAS lodgements, your tax planning. We can do it all right? But we're going to put you on a monthly fee. All right, I'm going to charge you, Nick, $2,000 a month, okay? What do you reckon? Do you want to do it with me? And yeah,
sign me up, mate.
So anyway, this is what's really changed the game, because that $2,000 a month is not conducive to what's actually happening. So we want to be tracking staff performance, but you say the first month, well, I did 50 hours trying to get you up to speed. And so in the first month, $2,000 revenue, 500 hours or whatever it might be in the first month, it looks terrible. But I mean, this is one of the reasons. I think there are several reasons, but that would be one reason why we've lost like touch of how to report closely, like not looking at it on an annualized basis, but looking at it right then and there, like in the weeks and months. That's what's really fallen off.
Yeah, and I think that's I mean, it's a great point. One of the biggest challenges that I know our clients, some of our clients have, is understanding just the simple numbers of their team, like where are the teams spending their time, what is their productivity rate. But, you know, it's easy to be 95% productive, but are you effective and are you efficient? And I know that we spoke about, and you showed me some reporting that you've done for accounting firms around this that show that, you know, Mary spent 500 hours on this job, which it technically probably should have only taken 8 hours. So that's really what we're going to cover off in the webinar. Is we're going to go into a lot more depth around what are these dashboards, and then how do you drill down? That's the one thing I love about Power BI, and we use that as, I mean, you've been helping us with some of that you can go into a high-level report and see, you know, the pie graph or whatever the visual is, and then you can drill down into the data and go right into it. So for an accounting firm, by understanding their numbers and the key numbers that drive their business, then you can make the right decisions. And that's one thing that I always ask every accounting firm that's a client of ours: what is success for every single team member of yours? And a lot of the time, they can't necessarily tell me, or, you know, what's a successful day on a daily basis? What's a successful week? And that's really what we're going to cover off in this webinar. For those that have just joined on the Facebook Live, the webinar is on the 16th of July at 11:30. That's Australian Eastern Standard Times. And we're going to cover off these areas around the key numbers that accounting firms need to have. And then I think the secondary part of that is Cam, is when people start to understand internally the operation and how the system works, do you then see them starting to roll those sorts of offering out to their clients where they can start performing what are the key metrics and dashboards that their clients would need? Or do you see that firms typically start with the clients first and then go back to them?
I've seen both, but I like the concept of starting internally first. And then you're under one hood. You know, you're under the Microsoft Power BI hood. You're putting all your client data and your own data into the one place where you can do things. I prefer that method, like internally, but that's not to say that lots of firms just go out and it's like, let's go, and they're just away. If they've got the resources and the manpower, they're away. They can do it. So yeah.
So accountants are busy now. They're extremely under the pump. I mean, in Australia, they're coming into tax season. So we've just come out of all of this COVID-related work. They're coming into tax season, you know, and then at the end of the year, they're going to have to deal with what's going to happen with the economy once the sugar hit of money runs out and stops. Why is this such a priority now? What is someone that attends this webinar that learns more around, I suppose, internal reporting and how Power BI can help them? What are they going to learn from coming to this that they can implement to help them?
Well, like what we need to accept in SME land is like data, right? Data-driven decisions. Corporates are kicking our ass in data-driven decisions. We have to accept that. That's why they're so far in front. Coca-Cola are doing like customer personas on people. All we're talking about is just saying, all right, let's have a look at some of the operation. I really want accountants to go. I think all accountants should be going to the operational land. And why? Because operational is so much richer. Like I was giving the example to you the other day, Nick. I think we were talking about medical practices, and I was saying, here's a financial. So they're on zero. Here's a financial budget, right, versus actual, as opposed to going to the actual operational system and saying, here's the doctors. How many patients have they seen today? What was the average medical fees per patient? What was the breakdown of institutional and Medicare and that type of break? That is just like chockers with making, like, that to me is where the SME should, like, that's how, you know, if for an SME who is financially illiterate, that to me is like, oh, you know, you tell them current ratios and they will just be like, what's a current ratio? They would have no idea, and they wouldn't even understand how that even helps them. But if you say to them, this is how many dollars you make per patient, and it looks like it's coming from because you're bulk billing too much. Oh, hello. Like all of a sudden we can start changing our behavior to improve our business. And that goes across the board, Nick. Like I'm sure you know, mate, like that's medical timesheets and stuff. But if you go to like inventory management systems is a classic. Shopify, right, mate? Shopify, do you know how many discounts you're putting on products? Like if you've got clients on Shopify? I've done a lot with Shopify recently, and I reckon there's so many businesses that actually aren't thinking very clearly about how they discount. They're going on gut feel, and the information that you can give to them to change their behavior is astronomical. Like we get better results from this. So we're going to start today with this chat, mate, on internal reporting, definitely. But I think the pie is bigger. Like the opportunity is so much bigger.
So for an accounting firm, and this is, I suppose, one of the challenges, Power BI, it seems, there's the normal reporting systems within the accounting ecosystem, but Power BI is obviously the next level. For someone that doesn't understand it and doesn't have a team and resources around it, that's probably one of the biggest off-putting things. But I know that in the webinar, you're going to cover off how they can do that. And I know that you supply a large part of that so they don't have to. It's not a lot of work and it's not daunting. There's a whole process that sits behind it. And I think that's the one thing I just wanted to reassure anyone listening to this, that when they do come to the webinar, you'll see how you can implement it for your business. I know you've been doing webinars with Xero and Practice Protect and a range of our other friends over the last couple of months, and it seems to be the hot topic at the moment. But I definitely see the value in understanding your data internally, but then helping your clients understand the data that matters. And that's, I think, your point before was exactly that, is that, it's the average revenue per patient. It's all these things. And if you set up this dashboard system and structure internally, you can run that over all of your clients. So that's the benefit of working with someone like you, that you can do all the, what I call the heavy lifting. So what's the biggest value that you've seen firms getting out of it? I know that Xero's been doing webinars with you lately, and you've been doing lots of others. What's the big value, I suppose? And what's the reason for that at the moment?
The passive income, mate, is what. So when I talk to an accountant about doing data analytics, the first thing they'll say to me is, yeah, but Cam, you can't give them live data because it's all, you got to reconcile bank, check that all your HP agreements. I go, no. That's financial data. You're talking about Xero, QuickBooks Mob. I'm talking about operational data. So what goes through the inventory management system, or what goes through SimPro, or what goes through Shopify, the sales, the timesheets, they are what they are. Like that's how you get operational daily reporting, live reporting. If there's mistakes there, you'll pick them up in the BI. You won't have to reconcile first. So that's the big thing that I like, is setting things up that make, help businesses make better decisions, and then automating it, going daily, weekly. Here's the same report, but with the information that you need that's relevant.
And as you know, I'm a big fan of it. We use it in our own business, and I've been digging deeper into some of our data lately, and it's surprising the insights you get. Data doesn't lie. I mean, it's then how you interpret it and use it. I think that's the secondary thing. But I think for anyone that is listening now, I would highly suggest you will get massive value by attending this webinar the 16th of July at 11:30. We'll talk about how you can implement this reporting structure in a simple way to understand your business more, but then also the flow-on effect of that is, how do you add value to your clients? How do you actually be able to enable this for them without you having to do significant heavy lifting and hard work? So, Cameron, any other final points you want to add in before we wrap up today about, I suppose, what we'll cover off in the webinar and any other key points?
Well, I guess how you were saying, oh, it's a behemoth, it's too hard. Well, I mean, most of the time, some of the things that fall over in people trying to implement it themselves is, well, how do you move data into a centralized location and make it live and dynamic? I mean, when we went across, we did a CA roadshow late last year, and I was talking to commerce people, like people who are working in universities and big businesses, and they were still data dumping into CSVs in Excel. I can't believe that. They haven't centralized and automated their data into a database. Big businesses turning over good money. Like, we've got an advantage here in the SME where we've moved to the cloud pretty fast. So we've got some seriously fun operational data that you can do things with. The APIs are open. I think I think the opportunity is enormous. It's not a pipe dream anymore. Like, this was my vision 5 years ago. It's working. Like, we can give you real life stories, real life TOA clients who are offshoring BI staff and succeeding at this. So looking forward to it, mate. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk more and actually share the screen and share how it actually works.
And I 100% agree. So for anyone that hasn't registered yet, 16th of April at 11:30, we'll put in the comments box a link to the registration so you can register. Highly recommend we are doing it live, so there won't be replays of it. So make sure you do register and attend. If that time doesn't work, shoot us a message and we'll be able to certainly help you. So mate, I love it. I love data. I love talking to you. It always excites me because I get excited by that, being able to make decisions and help businesses make better decisions with data. So appreciate your time today. I know it's late in the afternoon for you. You're enjoying a beer on a Thursday afternoon. So, mate, appreciate your time and look forward to chatting with you in a couple of weeks' time. So for everyone on the Facebook Live, thank you for listening to us and look forward to seeing you on the 16th.
Thanks, mate. Looking forward to it.
Cheers, mate.
All right. See you, mate.
Right.